We are a nation of enthusiasts. We love our dogs, our football, our green fields, and of course, our music. Across Britain, thousands of people play in amateur orchestras.
We want to make music then, we want to have a laugh at the same time.
I love the orchestra.
Juggling busy work schedules and family life with their love of music.
Whoa, that was loud.
To celebrate these talented men and women, we're on the hunt for the orchestra that best captures the spirit of amateur music making.
What an amazing noise.
Last time was all about opera, and the remaining orchestras from London, Devon, Stirling and Birmingham went head-to-head in a dramatic showdown. Sadly, we said goodbye to Birmingham's The People's Orchestra. Now 3 orchestras remain, and the contest is about to get tougher.
We're not quite on it, he's not quite on it, and the result is carnage.
We've got work to do. We have indeed.
The battle is on to find one winner who'll perform at the BBC Proms in Hyde Park.
We're in it to win it. I'm not messing about here.
This time, the challenge is to perform a concerto, and it's getting personal because each orchestra has to pick its soloist from within its own ranks and stage a concert in its own hometown. To find their soloist, each orchestra has been sent an email calling for volunteers to step into the limelight.
In each instance, we want to find the featured soloist to be drawn from the ranks of the orchestra itself.
We want to encourage lots of you to put yourself forward to audition for this role as soloist.
You should prepare an audition piece which shows off your skills. That lets me out.
The final decision will be down to those members of your orchestra who audition you on the day.
Very exciting.
The concertos will be judged by world-famous conductor Paul Daniel.
A concerto is a soloist playing in front of and supported by an orchestra.
In this round, each orchestra will really be able to show off. I want them to develop the whole way they play, how they encourage their soloist, and how well they present to their audience.
While Paul will spur on our orchestras with a masterclass, our mentor, world-renowned double bassist Chichi Nwanoku, will be on hand, this time helping our soloists reach for the stars.
I have the task of finding the perfect mentor for our 3 soloists. Matchmaking, if you like.
Next stop, we're in the capital, and it's London Gay Symphony Orchestra's turn for Paul's masterclass. In the last round, Paul thought their playing caught fire, but they have had a tendency to hold back in the past.
I'm a little bit nervous about today's session. I think Paul might push us to our limits, hopefully.
We've got a long way to fall at this point, and I think this is the thing. We're now going to have to work even harder.
The orchestra has chosen Nathan as the soloist, and he's picked Richard Strauss's oboe concerto.
We're starting the andante before figure 22.
Nathan, from West London, uses music as a way of sharing his emotions.
I'm quite a buttoned-up sort of person in that I don't kind of reveal all that much. I'm not someone who goes around telling people how much I love them. I tend to express myself through playing a piece of music. Lubrication.
Cheers, darling.
He's going to dedicate his solo to his partner, Justin.
Justin and I have been together for 6 years. He's beaten my longest relationship record now by about a year.
Well, I made those pieces of artwork when we first met. Here he is on a ladder, handing down the stars to me, and here's the star. I know it's so ridiculously soppy, but it was special.
I think the way that I feel about Justin will be expressed through the way that I play the piece of music, because for me, it's kind of like a love song. It's a love song without words.
Yours first.
This concerto finds the elderly composer Strauss reflecting on his life.
It's a kind of nostalgic piece. It's full of memory. It's full of an autumnal kind of richness. The danger for any orchestra, and particularly for this orchestra, that they will be too reticent. Every single person's little tiny note on the violin or across on the cellos, every single thing counts in this music.
Sing down the line. Good.
Chris, Nathan, it's nothing, is it, to play? It's just... And every note has got to sound like something incredible.
Yeah.
Just play it together without you now, because you've got to be at least as beautiful as the way he's played it. Okay. Very choppy. And he doesn't chop it up at all. He just plays this, it's like a river when you play it. And it sounded like, you sounded like the logs on the river.
Rude. Oh, it's all coming out now.
It was so scary, with Paul standing there conscious of every tiny little thing that I did wrong.
We all fall into this kind of trap, and particularly I think Paul is picking up on it, which is that when we see a few notes on a page, we think we haven't got very much to do and we're not very important. And what we're learning is actually every note is important.
I must say that they have to really take a quite big step quite soon to turn this very simple music into something that is really extraordinary.
At her West London home, Chichi is on Skype to Paul.
When he starts the phrase, you need to sense immediately what it is he wants to express.
To get the soloists ready for their big day, she needs Paul's feedback after their first masterclass.
It's a really fantastic piece for him. He, at the moment, is thinking very carefully about how he's going to organise himself. He's a very contained, organised kind of person.
Chichi is going to find each soloist an expert to maximise their potential.
The reason I'm not going to mentor them for their solo pieces is that I don't play any of the instruments. I could help them with musical interpretation and things like that, but technical issues, I probably wouldn't be able to help them enough.
Three orchestras have had 3 masterclasses, but Judge Paul wants to raise the stakes in this penultimate round. This time he wants the orchestras to stage their concerto in front of a home crowd.
So now the orchestra is on its own turf. I'm looking for orchestras in our contest who will really inspire and engage the audience and really have something to give them.
They have just 3 weeks to organise their event. London kicks off with a pre-rehearsal meeting.
I think venue is going to be a key issue with this.
Oh, wow.
Here it is.
First things first, they need to find a venue large enough to accommodate an audience and an orchestra.
5 desks of violins on each side, and then it's really tight actually.
In London, Chichi is getting on with recruiting her experts. She has just the right person for Nathan from the London Gay Symphony Orchestra, someone she's worked with in the past.
Hi there, Nick. I've got a proposal for you.
She's sending him for a session with oboist Nick Daniel, who shot to fame when he won Young Musician of the Year in 1980 and has had music written for him by some of the best composers in the world. To Nathan, he is a bit of a legend.
My best friend at school bought me an LP which had him playing. I loved that music and then played it myself, so he kind of inspired me to really take it seriously. Thank you. See you later.
I've heard from Chi-Chi that it's possible that he needs to be somehow unlocked and brought out of himself so that the whole thing, the openness of this great piece is clearly visible for the audience.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, I'm Nick.
I'm Nathan.
Yes, nice to meet you. Look, why don't we just... I'm going to play the piano part for you.
Okay.
You know, it's really beautiful what you're doing, actually. It's so colourful. There's a few places I can help you with a better breath. Would you mind if I just felt your stomach while you breathe in, okay? Okay, I got it. Okay. Just turn around and face the wall. So just imagine you're breathing in against my hand. Yeah, that feels a bit startled. Do it a bit slower. Oh, that was good. I encouraged him to breathe deeply, to somehow help his body be more open so that the emotions, which always go with the body, can flow freely. Let's play the first phrase again. Remember to inflate your lower back as well. That was really, really moving. Congratulations.
So Nick helped me to kind of breathe from my pelvis, but also I think the key thing was about relaxing. I did get quite emotional and quite tearful at one point, and yeah, I think that's about, you know, allowing stuff to come through.
Down in the capital, the London Gay Symphony Orchestra are also working on fusion and their relationship with their soloist.
What's really important is the way that every time we play something, we have to ask how the line that we're playing connects with the soloist. I think one of the things that we will be working on today quite a lot is to get the whole thing to flow more. I think this is something that Paul was really focusing on when he came in. If we can just find that sound, that mixture between flow, but with a lift. Can you just play me the very first note and hold it? That's the one. Wind, can we try not to separate the sound so we get da, ya, da, ya, da, da, so it continues as an idea through. Great.
I think tonight it's really sounding together, and it's sounding like it's just those waves of sound rather than choppy and stopping and starting as it was before.
Over the next few weeks, our soloists embrace their mentors' advice, and our orchestras get busy rehearsing how best to support them. London practices musical flow. Our orchestras are counting down to their concertos. They've worked hard with masterclasses, rehearsals, and mentoring sessions. With the clock ticking, London's soloist Nathan is getting ready for his moment in the spotlight.
3 days now before the performance, so this is one of the final steps. I've got my outfit, and Michael's now doing my hair for me so that I look
fabulous.
I look fabulous on Sunday, and let's just hope I play fabulously.
Across town, other members of the orchestra have hit Soho. They're drumming up interest in their event.
We've got a concert on Sunday. Would you be interested in coming along? It'll be a nice atmosphere. It'll be really, really good.
Do we have a free concert on Sunday?
Oh, that's amazing.
Can you take some flyers?
We would love to come. We're visiting from Australia.
We're serving cakes and tea, and there'll be
Cakes and tea.
Cakes and tea, yes. Would you be interested?
London's orchestra has chosen an afternoon tea theme, and they're making some rather special treats.
I was thinking, well, actually, it'd be great if we did something around Nathan, because he's our soloist, and he's got quite an iconic moustache, and a little bit jealous myself of that. But I was thinking if we did some moustache biscuits, that would be quite fun. Oh, look, here they come.
Here they come.
Oh, what do you think of those?
Ooh, bravo!
It's the morning of the concert, and Nathan is waiting for the arrival of some very important guests. His parents, who've come all the way from France.
It's the first time that they've heard me play live, I think probably in 23 years, something like that. Something that's been going through my head this week is that my nan, when she was dying herself, the last words that she said to me was, do your parents proud? And I suppose that's been going through my head today, because I do want to do them proud.
We have come a long way. We have come from Brittany, but I'd come from the other end of the world to see this. I'm very proud of him.
Hope you do.
The orchestra has decided on the Conway Hall near Soho for this semi-final concerto.
Is rainbow sellotape of any use to you?
Everyone's really enthusiastic, everyone's really looking forward to it, but the pressure's on.
It's all a bit manic, but it's going okay, it'll be fine. I've got every confidence that we're going to get there.
Paul and I appear to be in for a treat or two. The orchestra's chosen an afternoon of tea and cakes to accompany the concerto.
What do you reckon? Would you like tea or anything?
Despite the amazing spread of tea and cakes, we're not judging them on the way they've set the concert
We're not
up.
doing a tea and cakes competition, no.
So what are you going to be judging this orchestra on today?
I want to see how well they play for Nathan, how well they support him, and then, of course, how well Nathan can play it. It's a really big demand, you know, this wonderfully simple music, but very difficult. And what's important for this round, which we haven't had before, is how well they connect with their audience. They have to really turn them on.
To compare the afternoon, the orchestra has booked host Timberlina.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce the London Gay Symphony Orchestra.
The programme starts with a selection of chamber music. Backstage is Nathan. He's up next.
I'm nervous. My hands are shaking a little bit. But I'm trying to get to the calm place at the centre of the storm.
Presenting soloist today, Nathan Evans.
So we've not seen this orchestra for 3 weeks, not since your masterclass. What are you looking out for today?
The music has got to flow through. They've got to find a freedom of the music. It's very intimate, it's very chamber music, it's very quiet. On top of all of that, Nathan must not be bottled up.
to keep your counsel, but first impressions.
Do you know what? I was so pleased for Nathan that he did. He really kind of took charge of that music, and it meant something to him, of course, but he was able to really communicate. There were some moments when the orchestra left him a little bit high and dry, I have to say, particularly at the end.
I think I did it as well as I possibly could. So I'm pleased and I'm proud.
He was great, he looked great, and the orchestra were brilliant behind him. I mean, it was just a brilliant performance. I really enjoyed it.
I really hope that performance did get through the finals. I know we'll all be really upset if we don't get through now.
I am so proud of him. I love him to bits. He's, as I said, he's a very talented man. There's always been a special place in my heart for him. Always.
Three orchestras have performed 3 concertos. Today will be the end of the road for one of them. Their conductors and soloists are in London to find out who's in and who's out.
So, Paul, this is never going to be easy, but which way are you leaning? Who's going to stay, who's going to go?
Trying to bring all of these elements together, the orchestra, the soloist, the way they engage with their audience. There are so many pluses and minuses all around it. You know, they've started at completely different levels, and I've always said that it doesn't matter where you start technically, it's how well you can improve.
So, Paul, decision time.
I have made a decision, but it's probably the most difficult decision of the whole contest, and certainly one of the most difficult I've ever had to make.
We've had this rather painful wait for the week, so it's going to be a relief to find out the results, and of course we want to get through.
There's no doubt the orchestra would love to be in the final. I think they'd also be deeply surprised.
Sometimes I feel really positive, because actually surely he's going to respond to how much energy, excitement and fun there was. And he'll forgive us a few little mistakes too. No, we made mistakes. We're in big trouble.
So hello all of you, thank you for coming. And can I just say, we have had the best time, which has made it a nightmare for Paul. I know he's had sleepless nights coming to a decision about which orchestra is going to go home.
The first thing I want to say is just from my heart, a big thank you and a huge congratulations. London Gay Symphony Orchestra. I thought the orchestra supported Nathan really well. The string playing was really flowing. The trickiest place for me was when Nathan was coming to the end of the final phrase. The orchestra slowed down just a bit more than he wanted to, and actually you slightly left him a little bit high and dry. Just to go on to Nathan, your playing, and I loved what you'd done. It was poetic. You'd really risked a lot to find what you wanted to express kind of emotionally through the notes. Your audience was jolly, they were very happy, but I just got the impression that there was a chance for them to kind of come into your musical lives a bit more. But apart from that, I thought it was a really good show. And then the Sterling Symphony Orchestra. The music was a huge challenge, but well done for carrying it off. You supported Douglas really well. Douglas, great job, but try and push the character a bit. Your audience, there was a fantastic sense of everybody really being in the thing together. And then to North Devon and Emma and Simon, you picked an incredibly difficult piece. It was probably the most difficult, technically speaking. Simon, you played one phrase and you slipped, but it matters much more that you recovered from it really quickly. And not one note was dropped in the orchestra as a result. After that, fantastic performance across the board. The audience clearly enjoyed every second of it. You took the trouble to present the orchestra. You described and demonstrated the idea of what this piece was. So, good for you. Now we're facing what is our final. We can only allow 2 orchestras to go forward into this final. I'm really sorry to say the one orchestra that's not going to go forward is the London Gay Symphony Orchestra. I'm very sorry.
You played so beautifully. I'm a bit gutted. You're wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Congratulations, you've been fantastic orchestra.
The orchestra are going to be disappointed at the result because how could they not be? But actually, I think we can hold our heads high, and I think certainly Nathan can. And I think we did the best that we could.
Taking everything into consideration, how well the orchestra supported Nathan. It was almost all there, but not quite. And in terms of the sense of the atmosphere and the way the engagement worked with the audience, I felt that the other orchestras just pipped them to the post.
Later Live is back over on BBC Two. Kings of Leon, Sting, Jack White and Banks ready to roll with Jules Holland now. Here on BBC Four, with references and a builder's portfolio going back to the Elizabethan age, Hidden Histories traces the story of one of Britain's oldest family businesses. Next.